very early in this process, the government banned cultivation. And that was one of the tactics they used to kind of force farmers to give up their land. So when they banned cultivation, obviously all the other households, most of them who depended on agriculture but didn't own land, so agricultural workers, tenant farmers, they are now out of work. And the government, of course, is very aware of this, and they develop social welfare schemes and various projects to try to, find alternative livelihoods for these families. But the point about a land pooling scheme or any kind of land acquisition, I suppose, is that it creates or it widens disparities between those who have land and those who do not. And therefore, it also widens caste difference because landholding is very closely aligned with caste. So I did very much try to understand the predicament of OBC and Dalit households and others, many of whom were, as I said, kind of left in the lurch. There was mobilization there, and especially amongst Dalits, who in this region have a very high level of political consciousness. But still, in the face of a kind of very, a big project like this where the government is very invested, there's not a whole lot that groups or, movements can do to stop. Basically, the tactics were to try to figure out how they can get the most benefits from the government in return for the sacrifice that they have made.
Another peculiar problem we have discussed in the past is that this is not truly a greenfield project in the sense it's not a blank slate that the government is starting from. We have entire residential localities and villages where people already live, where surrounding which these glitzy buildings are going to come up in the next few years. So you've documented that as well about this.
Yeah, so this was one of the key questions I kept asking whenever I would go to CRDA, which is the Capital Region Development Authority, and talk to the planners. And I kept saying, what about the villages? Because we have, as I said, 29 villages. It's the agricultural land that is acquired. The villages, they would promise, will remain intact. But when you are building a fancy new city around those villages with new infrastructure, new types of buildings, etc., what happens to them? And I never got a good answer from any of the planners. I think either they thought that eventually